All right, so for the single leg calf raise, first of all, this is a absolutely terrible surface for this. I would not rather you be on something like this. If you can, if there's any kind of wedge or slant board, that's what I would recommend. And you're not going to need much of a slant, but you don't want a really steep one. So find kind of the lowest wedge or slant board that you can have. You want to have the toes elevated, and I want you to go ahead and use your hands for support. So go ahead and hold on to something. Like I said, this is an absolutely awful setup. This is what I got in the hotel. Hold on to something, preferably in front of you, so that this opposite knee can stay locked up as we go. Two things on this one. So one, you're gonna have your toe elevated, so you're gonna be down to start moving. Two, it needs to be a slow movement from bottom to top, and then also a slow movement on the way down. All right. My guess is, watching the type of athlete she is, she's going to want to do everything bouncy and twisty and fast because that's what she's good at. That's a very different type of body action than doing it slow and controlled. So it's going to be something that's hard for her, especially in this exercise. So hold on to something. It's going to be slow from bottom to top, get all the way up to the toes, and slow from top to bottom. Now, another thing that's going to be hard, we talked about that big toe. All right, you want to keep that big toe engaged the entire time. So what is more than likely going to happen is, on the way up, we're going to get the big toe is going to be in there, we're good, and then when we go down, we're going to shy away from that big toe more than likely and start to fall more onto the outside of the back of the foot. For the purposes of this exercise, we want to keep the big toe drilled into the ground, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. That's going to keep way more tension on that calf and Achilles area and all that stuff as we go down, and that's what's going to build our tissues better. So what you can do to make that a little bit easier to keep that big toe down is, if you have a mini band, what you can do is do this exercise with your shoes off, preferably, unless you have a surface that's too uncomfortable to do that. And you're going to take that mini band and place it under the big toe when you set up, all right? Place it under the big toe and just pull on it just a little bit, all right? Now from there, what she's then going to have to do is hold that mini band down as she goes, and that's going to force that big toe to stay engaged. All right, you understand that? So keep the big toe down. If you can, you can use the towel trick that we use on the pelvic tilts. You can use a mini band, something like that. Just something that she has to hold down onto, or else if she lets go, it would be very obvious that she lost that big toe engagement as we go through that exercise.